For those of you who I've never met or we haven't spent any time together before, I'm Arif Boyson, and geez, it's coming up on 8 years ago that I started A&B Performance Group with the idea of coming out of big business and shifting into the small business space and being able to bring the years of experience and training and mentoring that I received in my corporate world to the small business space. And truth be told, it's been the best thing for myself that I have ever done, and really surrounded myself with some pretty awesome small business owners and learned so much over the last couple of years of just all sorts of different ways to build businesses and all the different ideas that people have, and it really has been an incredible run, and look forward to some of the things that we're shifting as we go forward. Also on the team, we have here Mr. Matt Wilson. Matt, give a wave. So I met Matt in the beginning of 2022, and he was a client first, introduced by one of my other clients. And the minute I met him, I knew that he had everything I was looking for another coach on the team. And in August of 2022, we formally landed on working together, continued to kind of build up his business to work without him, which is what all of us are doing here together today, right? Building sellable entities, businesses that work better without us. And a few years ago, he was able to sell his home health care agency, and he's been with me as a full-time coach since August of 2022, so coming up on his third year. And also plays a role in our recent acquisition of RTS, where he is a fractional COO, spending a good 15 hours or so a week helping us get that business to continue to scale, grow, and work on its own. So many of in the room work here with Matt, but some don't, so that is Mr. Wilson. Joe, give a wave. Joe Suarez, everybody. He's also the puppy man. So if you're not following Nirvana Goldens, Joe and his wife, I think is it the third litter that you just had? Third litter, 13 puppies, 5 still available. We might be showing pictures of them this afternoon during lunch, in case anybody's interested. Super cute, and they're all free. So that's pretty cool too. And Joe actually is coming up on his 5th anniversary with us here at A&B Performance Group. And he handles all the stuff behind the scenes, and has been an awesome partner of mine over the last 5 years. So that is Joe. And then, not lastly, most importantly, really, is my wife, Erin Boyson. Erin, give a wave. She's paying attention to me like she always does. And Erin handles all the events and all the gifting and those types of things that we do. And as anyone knows who's got a good supportive spouse or partner, she's behind the scenes on everything, making sure I've got the support and things that I need, and it's been an awesome run for the last 8 years. So that's us as a team, and if you've never been here before, we do this thing to help you introduce yourself, and we call it the win wall. A couple little tweaks and changes for this time. We didn't do the post-it notes because we don't stick the stuff on the wall anymore, so why do post-it notes? So here's how the win wall works. We're going to have you on the notepads in front of you write down all of the wins you can think about for the first half of the year. Big wins, small wins, whatever they may be. Systems wins, revenue wins, hiring wins, firing wins. Anything that you look at that says, I took my business further and I want to celebrate that thing, right? Once you've identified, your list, you're going to pick the one that really stands out. But don't just write down one right now. Really sit there and take a moment to reflect on the successes and the things that you were able to achieve over the last 6 months, and then just pick one, the biggest one that stands out the most. In about 2 or 3 minutes, the room is going to stand up, and one person from each business will share their win, what you do, obviously your name, your win, what you do for a living, and then your biggest win. It's a good opportunity for us all just to continue to know who's inside this group. I will tell you that there's a lot of business shared amongst a lot of people here because it's started to become a nice, trusted network over the last 6 or so years that we've been running Growth Club, which is now Thrive. So listen, pay attention, see if there's different ways. people might be able to help you? Is there a strategic partnership? Are there other opportunities? The community does a good job supporting each other. So take a couple minutes, and then only one person from each company stands up to kind of make that announcement, and it'll be a good way to get to know everyone. So we'll give you a couple minutes just to list out your wins.
Go around the room and listen to everybody's wins. I think it's important, though, while this is happening, to listen to the different themes of people's wins, right? Because it's not all about revenue, right? It's not all about bottom line. Sometimes it's about people. Sometimes it's just about changing a habit that you have. And do I need to stand here better, Dan? Okay. So listen to everybody else and realize as they say their win, you may be like, oh, I did that too. I'm going to add that to my list because everything counts. Okay. We won't make new go first. Judy, can you lead us off? Or Lorna? Judy likes to talk.
Well, one of the things that happened last month is our administrator that did almost all the back office stuff, told us unexpectedly she was retiring in 2 weeks. And we just got out of tax season, and we responded by actually allocating all our work to the other staff members, giving them opportunities to grow, gave them all raises, and still had money left over that we got to save some money. And we have cross-training. So we're a stronger firm. And as I was saying to Laura, an unexpected door opened and then we kicked it up.
Yes, you did.
I'm Mary Kelleher. I own Positive Solutions and Marketing and PR firm in New Jersey. Our biggest win, in addition to owning Positive Solutions, I own a bridal retail store that I purchased about 18 months ago. 18 months ago, and should be closing on June 30th to sell it.
Oh.
Hi, I'm Jen Lipinski. I have a law firm, Lipinski Law. And my biggest win was we defeated a motion on Monday in a sexual assault case against $1 billion company, and it was the first in the state that I'm aware of that has been done, so really excited.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Brett Steinberg. I'm the owner of Steinberg Law, plaintiffs' personal injury law firm. Good to see everybody this morning. My biggest win is something that's about to happen, which is I've decided to, in furtherance of stepping back and working on the business, hiring a litigation attorney to handle 95% of my litigation so I can step back and work on growing the firm and having some sanity. So thank you.
Good morning. My name's Alana Karen, and I'm owner and founder of Iconic Event Experiences. And I joined the board of my industry local chapter in South Florida that enabled me to do something that I've never actually thought I wanted to do, which was actually moderate a panel in April. So I got over my fear of being on stage, because I'm usually the one behind the scenes making things like this happen. So that was great.
Good morning, everyone. Anila Rasul with the ASR Law Firm. I am an attorney in Boca Raton, and we do transactional work in real estate, estate planning, and small business law. So at the end of last year, we were experiencing a little dip in kind of incoming and new business, and I couldn't figure out why. And very recently, we figured out the problem and are well on our way to fixing it. And I can't tell you what a relief it was to actually figure out the problem and actually have the problem, because I now know what the solution was, and whereas before it was such a, we felt like we were flying blind for a while.
Hey everybody, I'm James with Input Output. I help companies with their cybersecurity, compliance, and general business risk management. Arif has worked with me for quite a while now. I actually got some new marketing channels up and running. May not seem like a huge deal, but for somebody that, for me, that was pretty big. So I've got a lot more marketing running and even 2 new people to help keep things running behind the scenes. So pretty big.
Morning, everyone. Dr. Dean Mamleys. I am a chiropractor in Royal Palm Beach, Wellington area. I have empowered my practice administrator, office manager, and my other chiropractor that I work with to take more of a leadership role in my office so I can market the office and take a little bit of time off. So that's nice.
Good morning. My name is Jeff Goldboyce. I'm managing partner at Pastor Goldboyce, Ebert and Palladino CPAs. My win this quarter, besides revenues were up, we signed on for a new CRM system, which is a little scary because we just switched a couple years ago, but it wasn't doing what we needed to do. Even more importantly, I've actually delegated the implementation process, which actually starts today, to one of my other partners. So hopefully that will, while I'm a little worried about it, I'm okay, and we've set plans in place to keep moving forward with it. So, and that was a lot of Arif's doing too, so thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Piper Gonzalez with Piper Gonzalez Designs. We are a residential interior design group. This May, I was actually out of the office more days than I was in, which is a very big deal for us given that May is our largest pitch month. So good job to my team.
Good morning, all. Craig Glover, A Better Way Home Care. We provide care and love that help the elderly live in their home as long as possible. We keep them happy and healthy. That reduces stress on the family. The biggest win we received this year is that there's an organization called the Black Business Investment Corporation. They're in each county in the state. They support black businesses. It's been around for about 35 years in Palm Beach County. They had their first ever Business Excellence Award, and they could have chosen one of 1,000 businesses, and we were that business that they chose for that award. So really honored. We're a small company, been around for a few years. We've been through a lot of stuff, and I think they respect the resilience that we've exhibited to get through challenges and continue to build our business. Glad to be here.
Good morning, everyone. Mark Dawson with RWA Marketing, your branding and strategic marketing partner. We've been in business for 23 years, and a year ago, pretty much today, we lost our largest client that pretty much almost sunk the business. Huge hit through no fault of our own, and it almost wiped us out. And the last year, we have worked tirelessly to steady it, and new business and just going after everything. And finally now the ship has turned. We've signed some large clients that have taken me 6 months to get to. We're profitable. We are back running. We're growing. We survived probably the biggest hit that we've ever took, and we're coming back stronger again. So that was my biggest win.
Hey, good morning. David Hartman, founder and CEO of The Silver Logic. We're a custom software company, build solutions around business process automation and AI, so obliterate those 27 spreadsheets that might rule a company or two. And for biggest win, we pretty similar. Had a very interesting, let's call it, year last year of some first time in my career that I saw clients go bankrupt. And unfortunately, one of them was our largest client, and then a couple more, I think 3 or 4 actually, that went bankrupt. That we've always grown just by referrals and organically because we've just ongoing folks. And first time that I looked at it and saw, okay, I can't, the size we've gone to, can't stomach that myself. So started building up a sales program, channel sales, to just take the company to the next level. And they're slowly maturing and getting there.
Good morning, everybody. Kathy Myron. I'm the CEO of eSilo. We're a data backup and cybersecurity company, and we help small to mid-sized businesses prepare for the day that they're going to be attacked. My biggest win for the quarter was around process automation and really delegation to my team. So you would think as a technology company, we do everything with systems, but as a cyber person, I'm very skeptical of using other people's systems. So my goal was really to make sure that my team knew how to automate out of my inbox through our workflow 90% of the operational tasks that need to happen through the life cycle of a client. And we're pretty much there. So that was the biggest win for me.
Thank you, Kathy. This isn't my biggest win, but this is a plug for Kathy. She didn't encourage me to do this, but we took eSilo on in a greater capacity, and they've already helped secure us against a couple phishing scams and things. So that's been a huge thing for us and has brought a lot more security for my business. and peace of mind. So thank you for that. My name is Stephen Hoffman. I am an attorney representing homeowners, commercial property owners across the state of Florida, fighting the good fight against the insurance carriers who are always out there spending money to get the legislation passed in their favor. But biggest win, I think 2 years ago, I was standing here saying that I had a baby. It was Paul. And 2 years later now we had another boy. It's our third boy, Joshua. So, I mean, that's definitely a big part of my life, but also just invested more in delegating invested more in the business by hiring people to help to not just start delegating things. So I'm not always working as the technician, right? For everyone who's read the E-Myth book on the business, but trusting more, delegating, and investing in the tools that will help me to maybe hopefully sell my business like someone over here said one day. So thank you.
Good morning. I'm Marina Radlensky. I'm the owner of Palm Beach Organized, a professional home organizing and moving concierge company. My biggest win is one of my hires. I hired 4 girls this year. One, she's perfect to work in the organizing business and also be my family assistant. She's great and really glad I found her and I gave someone a chance. I wouldn't have thought about hiring a mom of little kids before because I'm a mom myself and I know the challenges that come with that. Kids sick, this and that and that. So I gave her a chance and it worked out great.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Eric Newman. I own Newman Law in Boca Raton. We are a construction and real estate litigation firm. My biggest win is pretty obvious for me this year. After about 11 years of being stuck working in my business and almost never on my business, I woke up one morning probably having what most would describe as a panic attack and realized that I don't know what I don't know. So I went out and I contacted Matt and I hired a business coach who does know what I don't know. And since that time, I've doubled the size of my firm while beginning to reduce the number of hours that I spend working in it and increasing the number of hours I spend on it. It feels like a great success and a big relief. Thank you.
I'm just going to project because the microphone is obviously not working as loud as my voice does. And my name is Rachel Gonzalez. I work with the lovely Cindy Crawford at Cindy Crawford Law. We do marital law. We do pretty much anything that has to do with family law. I also do guardian ad litem work. I think we both have a lot of different ideas on our greatest wins, but I would say probably one of our greatest wins was that I was appointed on the board for the 2025 fall board for our local chapter. So that's getting me a lot more involved, the Florida Association for Women Lawyers, and it gets me out there, gets me in front of other people, gets me to know others, network in a different capacity, and also lets me get closer to my colleagues and expand on what Cindy has already built.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Carol Williams. I own a boutique immigration firm, Williams Immigration. I work with companies and individuals, so I do a lot of green cards, a lot of visas. Sometimes I hold hands, I hand out tissues. We do all the things, given what's going on. A great win for me this past year is I let my team do what they do best. I got out of the way, which those of you who've been coming for a while know that's very difficult because I like to fire people. But once I let them do their thing, that freed up my time. So I'm now a member of a national organization that I now have time to do. I sit on 2 different forums within that organization. One is working on international business and compliance. The other one is working on business immigration. So it's put me on a better stage. It's put me on a more international stage, which was one of my goals. And so I'll actually be sitting on a panel in a couple of weeks as a result of that, as a result of getting out of my team's way. So that's my win.
Good morning. My name is Dave Reagan, and I'm not a lawyer. I think I'm sitting at the law table. My company is Reagan Technical Solutions, and we help golf courses and other large irrigation customers use their water more smartly. On July 1st, coming up, it'll be the beginning of our 25th year in business. And last month, May 2025, we had our largest revenue month ever.
Good morning. Wade Riley with Honcho. We're a legal recruiting firm. So we throughout Florida, so we place paralegals and attorneys. And our biggest win, we hit our revenue goal 2 quarters in a row this year. And part of that came to a new hire that contributed nicely this second quarter. So a couple good things going on there.
Good morning, everybody. I am an attorney. My name is Meryl Haber.
Keep it up. It's recording.
Oh, thank you. After over 30 years of litigating, I joined a mediation firm full-time. I am a Florida Supreme Court certified civil circuit mediator, and it's been a great experience so far. My biggest win in the last quarter was one of the local chapters of Florida Association for Women Lawyers by me. They stopped meeting due to COVID, so they haven't met since 2020, and I am now currently reviving that chapter, and it's been a great experience, and I look forward to it. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Denise Mutumba. I'm the founder of MDM Legal. We are a labor and employment firm. And one of my biggest wins this year is I was able to cultivate a relationship that ended up with me presenting in front of 200 people this past, what are we in, June? So April, just last month. So I was very excited to present to those folks. So thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Pete Karras, one of the owners of Paradise Labs. Excuse me, and like yourself there, I'm not a lawyer. We do design fabrication work for zoos, aquariums, for the habitats, medical simulation work, mold making and casting for a variety of industries, from foundries to lawn care companies that want to have new planters. So one of our, I guess, very recent wins, I could say, is we've been trying to delegate more work to our staff, which is relatively small. We have 6 employees and plus the 2 owners. But just a couple days ago, we watched, Adam and I, my partner and I, watched 3 of our staff members negotiate a call with a new client. And Adam turned around to me and he was like, "You see that?" He's like, "We're not doing that anymore." So it was really great to see the work that we had been doing for the last 6 years, finally start to migrate to the different members of our team. So that was fantastic, and hopefully that'll keep moving forward.
Good morning. Andrew Shapiro with Advanced Surgical Physicians. We're a general surgery and surgical subspecialty practice in Palm Beach County. I know Arif loves when we share 2 wins, but I'm going to share 2. One is a life win, which is I have the privilege of celebrating my 31st wedding anniversary today with all of you fine folks. So thank you for celebrating with us. That's probably the biggest one in my life, is that I have been able to convince her to stay married this long. Sure is. Second win is something that I wasn't going to share, but I would be remiss if I didn't, which is we're on the precipice of signing a 3rd surgeon. Had a good conversation with them last night to finalize some final points in the contracts, but hopefully that'll be signed within the next 2 weeks, and we'll increase the number of surgeons in our practice to 3, which will allow me to be able to step back some more and do some other stuff that I'd like to do than practicing every day. So that's a huge win for us.
Happy anniversary. Adam Block. I'm here with my wife Randy. We own ProTech Professional Products, and we manufacture and distribute dental supplies throughout the world. And our biggest win was after about 18 months, we finally, after back and forth, secured our government contract, so we can now do business with the U.S. government.
Good morning, everybody.
I am Pau Delgado. I'm a financial advisor at CS Advisors. We are an independent financially advisory firm in Boca Raton. So we talk to our prospects or to our clients and their families. We get to know their goals, their aspirations, and we position those assets. We invest those assets to be able to meet those goals. So I'm going to share actually two business goals that we achieved and one personal. So the first one is that we were able to acquire and successfully transition a $20 million 401k plan. So that was a big opportunity, and everything went well. And the second one, our second biggest win is thanks to Matt and the previous event last quarter, we were able to start building strategic alliances with other professionals like state attorneys, like CPAs, and we're implementing those, and they are already yielding. So we're not done, but we continue with that. So thank you, Matt. And my biggest win this year is that this is a personal one. I'm going to have a little girl at the end of the year, so I'm very, very happy. Thank you.
Eileen, there's still time to get away. Good morning, Bill Tibner from that agency. We have a digital agency, the largest for legal networks in the country, in the world. Kidding. We do it. We're in all industries. Our biggest win, we went fully remote, the team, in January, and so we had to put some KPIs in place to make sure that the productivity and the work that we're doing is still up to par. So we have that all in place right now, and it's working fantastic. So.
Good morning, Nick Sarda. I'm a personal injury attorney with Cassis Law. Have my paralegal, Melissa, one of our paralegals, Melissa, here with me today. I'd say the biggest win for this first half would be changes in systems and operations of the firm. So we are having to keep up with the times and the technology, and we're implementing the tools that we have at hand, I think, better than we were last year. We set out to do that this year. I think we're doing a good job. And every day there's so much more available in the same software that we use. So it's an ongoing process, but I think in the long run it's going to make things a lot better.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Yvette Treyas, also a personal injury attorney. I know you're sick of us by now, I'm sure.
I'm not.
Because I pay you every month. My biggest win this year, I have to say, I went through a huge transition last year, and I'm Treyas Injury Law. I was Treyas and Bickler, and Arif was a big part of that. And so it's the alliances that I formed. Jen Lipinski, I was able, as I'm getting older and not wanting to try cases anymore, I was able to form alliances through this business organization with people like Jen Lipinski. So I'm able to transfer cases to her and refer cases to her so that I can concentrate on the pre-litigation cases, which I love doing, and the mediation, which is what I want to do. So I'm really thankful for this group, and so I'm glad to be here.
All right. I think that, I guess real quick, Matt and I have to go. You want to go? Biggest win?
Wow, good. I actually wasn't ready. But I could list a couple. So again, Matt Wilson, I work for A&B Performance Group. I also work for Reagan Technical Solutions, which has been a very fun journey and an exciting one, and what Dave Reagan back there has built over the last 25 years. It's very impressive, and our job is to help make it bigger, make it better, grow, expand, and see what it's capable of. But I think my biggest win is getting my schedule almost completely full with clients for coaching. So leaving some room for some other things, but I'm almost there, and that's exciting.
All of Matt's wins are my wins, in the sense that I enjoy them and kind of get to see them, and it's been a journey, one that I'm proud to be a part of Matt's business, and proud to have him as a partner as we continue to do more together. But I would say, because I'll cheat too, like Pau did,
do a couple. I think the Reagan RTS transition is an exciting one for us. Being able to step in and do some more things, have some more control, because with coaching clients, I can only ask, tell, try to suggest that you do these things, but can't do it, right? So in my own business and getting involved in other businesses, leaning into that acquisition, multiple business owner thing that we've been talking about for a long time is an exciting thing, and something that I would say is definitely up on the win list and enjoy a lot. And I hope that by the end of today, you'll feel like what we've done with Thrive and the direction that we're trying to steer things, that we are steering things, falls on all of our win lists, because I'm really proud of the work that Matt and Joe and I have put together, really working hard to bring some real tangibility to the work that we do with all of you, and all the hard work that we all do as small business owners, facing the everyday stuff, but also trying to scale and grow and build. As I kind of transition into the morning session, I just have a couple of notes just from listening to people. And some of you might be feeling this, might be aware of it, might be watching news, whichever channel you're watching. There is more of a headwind today, right, than there has been in at least the 8 years that I've been on this side of the business world. So I see it with clients, honestly, for the first time, like not every client having massive growth. And the truth is, the clients that stay, most of them, like 80+% of them, have had really significant growth. That's why they stay. And this is really the first year where we're seeing it be harder for people. It's a little bit harder of a climate. Started to peak up a little bit last year, and this year we're seeing more. All part of the cycles of economy and the way things go. And so for us, a day like today, that makes that even more important, because you've heard me say this a million times. Andrew actually texted me this week and said, and don't respond micro business, macro world, but I'm going to make the comment, we run micro businesses. So while macro things are out there happening, things that we do in our micro business can make really big, significant changes. And we can get good results from those things. So improving productivity, bringing on a powerful performing employee, those types of things, getting systems, automation, reducing little expense items that give you no ROI, all of those things have a lot of leverage to them. So as you're going through today, think about that stuff. Think about the things that, I heard 13 businesses talk about the fact that they're spending more time working on their business, which is so exciting to hear, right? But I also heard bankruptcy, lost biggest client, surprise retire, taking risks, and those are all good as well. So as you're going into the learning and planning portion of today, be thinking about the things that other people did that you might want to do, but understand that the little nuances that you put together in your plan, make sure that they're going to deliver you a top or a bottom line result, right? That's the biggest thing that we're looking for here today, is that top bottom line result, while you don't have to work 50, 60, 70 hours a week. 2 other comments just because I heard it. People joke about the lawyers in the room, but I want to just go back to the strategic alliance conversation. It's easy to pick on lawyers. And when I started this business, I had no interest in working with lawyers. I did not have an interest in working with lawyers, but I didn't start it thinking that would be a thing. But I formed an alliance with someone, and he gave me the opportunity to speak at the Palm Beach Bar Association. It's a small business, I forget what the title is, but Small Business Association, something, something, something. And, so I got a little presentation together, got it approved for a CLE, spoke to about 20 people, and about 4 or 5 of those people became clients. And that was 8 years ago. And so now we've worked with almost 50 attorneys over the time period. So the alliances that you put together, when you do it right, really can pay off. And they can pay off for years. And lawyers refer to one another, and they refer to others as long as you do right by them. If you don't do right by them, they sue you. So don't do that, but get it right. So that is... just kind of a thing that I wanted to just highlight. It's not a coincidence that the lawyers are here. It happened because of, an intentional strategic partnership that then created a world where we meet a lot of lawyers, and that has benefited us as a business. So what's yours as you think about your plan as you build today? I just wanted to highlight that. So, all right, so we're going to jump into where we are, and I know the screen is a little tough to see. We've been trying to fix it all morning, but lighting and whatnot, it's tough. So I want to just talk about why and what brought us here today, and we'll get into our event and what we're going to be doing. So why Thrive? So the truth is we had another name, and right as we were about to release it, somebody else released an event with that exact same name in this area. And we were like, oh my God, we have to come up with another name. And I think it ended up being a really cool thing, because those of you who have been around for a long time know that when COVID happened, within a week, we started an event called Survive and Thrive at 5. And that event put us in a position where at some point we had more than 150 people that were a part of that group. We were one of the faster people to kind of come out and say, hey, let's come together. I didn't really know what I was going to say on the first call because nobody knew anything, right? Like, we didn't know, but it just said, well, we at least need a place to gather and talk about what we can do. And that Thrive thing ended up being the other cool thing that we did in the beginning of this business, because it started to extend to the Northeast. We started to get referrals to all sorts of different businesses, which is now why we have clients in, I think, 11 different states at this point, because there were different referrals and reaches from that group because they had nowhere to go. And now that we come back and use this name Thrive, I love that we've brought Thrive back to the groups that we have. So our intent here is really to make some intentional changes, and we're going to start off with a little video.
Jack Welch once said, "Change before you have to." How true that is. Championship leaders understand that in order to remain relevant and competitive, they must foster a culture that embraces change. When you think about the brands that have been around for 100+ years, how they looked in the beginning is much different than how they look now. They changed. The brands they once competed with no longer exist. Why? They didn't change. Grace Hopper once said, "The most dangerous phrase in language is, 'We've always done it this way.' As the leader, you must relentlessly fight this mindset. Don't allow your team to focus on how things used to be, because used-to-bes don't make honey. Instead, focus on how things are gonna be. Gonna-bes make honey. Gonna-bes have a clear vision of the future and how they need to grow in order to become that better version of themselves. They understand constant growth requires constant change. Remember what John Maxwell once said, change is inevitable, growth is optional." Close your eyes and visualize what things will look like in 3 years. How will you need to evolve in order to meet that vision and be a front runner in your space when the time comes? What changes do you need to make? Start making those changes now. As the leader, you have the remote. If you don't like the channel you're on, nobody can change it but you. So stand up and change it. And don't be afraid of the naysayers. As Eleanor Roosevelt said, do what you feel is right, for you will be criticized anyways. Trust your instincts. Pursue your vision. Even if no one else sees it, just start the journey. The others will follow. And stay ready. New levels will bring new devils. But the higher you climb, the stronger you'll get. Take pride in being a professional problem solver as you rise. Remind your team that every change you make is an effort to get better. You don't change for the sake of changing. Like Jim Rohn said, life does not get better by chance. It gets better by change. At the core behind every big change is a why, and that why is to get better.
So, the idea of our change was just that. There's a lot going on in the world from a technology standpoint, right? One of the biggest things is AI and all the value that it can bring to all of us as small business owners. And we got to thinking, what are we going to do with all of this technology? How are we going to embrace it? What are the things that need to happen for us and our clients? And so that type of video, that type of mindset is about the momentum that we are working on changing here at A&B to make sure that 3 years from now, we're as relevant as we were the day that COVID hit. That we are a resource that is seen, that can help people still believe that they can scale and grow through the support and tools and systems that we provide. But if we stay just the way we are, we won't be. We'll be behind the times. We won't be using the tools and the technology and all of the ability that's been given to all of us. And, you know, we'll be that person that said, but this is the way we always do things. And that isn't really just for us. So how we changed, just so we can kind of understand it, obviously the strategic acquisition, it had lots of meanings for me. One, eat your own cooking. That was one of the big meetings. It's something that I talk to all of my clients about. Get your business to a point where it works without you so you can own multiple. Well, who should be the first one to do that, right? Probably one of the people that's talking about it. And so making sure that we had taken that step, and I had taken that step to put ourselves in a position to be able to continuously learn and guide many of you in the room who also have that same interest. Brand evolution. Obviously, we updated name. We didn't make a big deal out of it because no one really cares what our name is. But for us, it was important to kind of make that change the logo, change our slogan, and intentionally drop our partnership with Action Coach. Honest reason, I felt like they weren't moving fast enough. I felt like they weren't moving fast enough to embrace technology, embrace change, embrace what was coming. And it's one of the things that I talk to all of you about. Being small allows you to be nimble. I don't have to wait for anybody to do anything. I can just do it. We can just go. And so many of you didn't even really know much about the Action Coach partnership. So when we talk about it, we're like, what are you talking about? You never said anything about it anyway. Well, yeah, it was something I did 8 years ago, and I paid them money for 8 years. And I'll pay them money for a little bit longer to get out. But it puts us in a position to be able to stand alone, make changes, make big decisions to move ourselves and our business forward. We restructured these events for intentional reasons. And we had some people that are like, no, I love Growth Club or whatever you want to call it, but keep doing 4 of them. And the reason we went from 4 to 2 isn't really for less for us, because we're going to do more. But it was watching and getting feedback and trying to hear what everybody wants and trying to give everybody a little bit of something that they want. So people asked for smaller events. We couldn't do 4 growth clubs, or now Thrives, and then smaller events as well. It's just, it would be too much to manage, but we can do 2 big ones and 4 Thrive Labs as we go through, which Matt will talk a little bit about in the future. And we created something called the Freedom Climb, which is what Matt and I have been incredibly busy working on over the last couple of months, and we're excited to introduce version 1 of it to you today with a lot more things coming. These were not casual decisions. These are things that we've been thinking about for quite some time. We just finally pulled the lever, and we're excited to introduce a lot of that stuff to you today. Matt?
Yeah, you know, thinking about what Arif just said, it's so easy to just keep doing the same thing. And I think we all probably fight that as we think about how many other things we have going on. The business is busy. I'll just do this the same way this year again. I'll just do it the same way this month again. And there's one thing Arif is very good at. It's shaking you out of that. Because I was falling into that. We do these every quarter, kind of got a rhythm down. And the feedback forms, which are very important to us, started to talk about some different options. And so Arif, being who he is, made us kind of locked us in a room for a while to try to come up with a structure that may not fit for everybody, but it's different and it's a change, and the change is hard because it means a whole different set of things for him, Joe, and I to manage, to create, and to organize. But at the same time, we're here for you, right? And so we're trying to find ways that you can engage with other professionals, other people in this room, smart people that can teach you things, speakers that know about topics that are going to be extremely relevant to you and your business. And so we created Thrive Labs, and also had a different name in front of it, Labs, until we had to change it at the very last minute. That was literally the day we were sending it out to you, by the way. I just happened to see an email locally that had the same name, and we had to pivot. But that's the beauty also of AI and how creative it can be and how helpful it can be to get to solutions. But the Thrive Labs are going to be a little different feel. And right after this slide, we're going to do a little bit of a survey with the QR code to get some more feedback to try to meet your needs even better. But the labs are going to be shorter, more condensed, more concise events, possibly morning, possibly midday, possibly evening, weekday events, which you're all going to vote on. Each one will have a speaker that, as mentioned, can talk on a topic that is going to be relevant to everybody. It's going to have some really good, powerful networking, some food, some drink in a short, concise manner. So you're not spending a full day, but you're spending a couple hours feeding the business and feeding yourself with others that are doing the same thing. And the goal is to be able to go into those events and walk out immediately with things you can implement. So just like in Thrive, but not 4 times a year, now it's going to be 6, right? So 2 big Thrive events and 4 Thrive Labs. First one being August 12th. The date is, or excuse me, the location is still TBD, but will most likely be, well, I guess we're going to vote on that, aren't we? So next slide is the QR code. Just a 4-question survey, I think, if you can scan it real quick.
Just some things that are coming next. So we're going to be presenting the version 1 of Freedom Climb to you today, but we are continuing, right? So we didn't want to wait and kind of just bring it all to you at the same time. So we can get Freedom Climb to you today. We're also going to be making a transition with the tools. We're going to be making a full transition over to a completely different portal than the SharePoint that you've been using with us for the last couple of years, where you're going to have your own live active portal, and the idea is everything is going to live inside there. And we're excited to do that, but we need to do it properly with the right security and all of the things around it. So that is kind of the next phase. I want to say I'm hopeful that we will have another phase of this to sort of present to you in December. And then we're working on some strategic partnerships as well. So with the sort of dissolution of the relationship with Action Coach, it makes me think, well, where else can we tap into? Who else can we tap into? So we're looking at all sorts of partners out there as other organizations that possibly can add value to all of us, like an EOS or other systems that are out there that can also be partners of ours, and there'll be more to come there. So just want you to know what we're working on and what we're focused on to continue to bring value to all of you, tools to all of you, education to all of you, so you can continue to grow with us. Matt?
So and Reed kind of touched on this earlier, you know, when I think about the clients in the room that I work with on a regular basis, almost every single one of them, one of you, has a thing or two that you've been kind of sitting on, right? That we've been talking about doing, or mapping out, or making notes on that maybe it's not the right time, maybe it is. And as we go through our changes and push ourselves to be a better coaching firm, provide better services for all of you, this is our opportunity to do the same to all of you. Because you know you've got that thing, or that person that you know you should hire, or that position that's not there yet that you need to create, or that system that is sitting out there and still isn't working right because you haven't taken the time or had the time to sit and do it. Maybe it's a commitment to time blocking so you can have time to do all these other things, right? And the great line there is growth and comfort never coexist, so choose growth, right? It's not really supposed to be easy, right? The point is to push. And the harder and faster you push now, if done properly, the easier it is down the road, right? The more comfort comes. I read another one the other day that ease is the biggest threat to advancement than hardship is, right? Because when things are easy, what do? We just keep doing the same thing. We take our time, and your businesses might even be growing. But are they growing, or are they just busier, right? So think about that. Revenue may even be going up, but are you about to get locked in a box where you can't do anything? It's not the kind of growth we're looking for, right? So challenge yourselves today to think about what that thing is that I want to change and that I've been wanting to change, and now's the time.
And I just want to highlight where the little pointer is here, because I hear this from many of you. So hopefully everybody's listening and not on their phones and computers. This is an important point. Everybody's always looking for the perfect time. If you wait for the perfect time, you just won't do the thing you need to do, right? Because you're never going to get the perfect time. So as as a successful entrepreneur, as a successful business owner, you have to lean into some of the things. And sometimes it's not an immediate up. Sometimes it's a little down before you get up. Sometimes it is an immediate up. But I can guarantee you one thing, there is no perfect time. This wasn't a perfect time for us to do this. It took a little while to find a couple of things, and so it was a busy last 6 weeks, but we had to do it. We needed to do it. We needed to push ourselves through so we can continue to move in the direction that we want to move in. So think about this, your next bold move, the system fix, the critical hire, the next version. The critical hire, I could have just put a slash in there and said fire as well, because I can think of at least a half dozen people in the room today that have someone on their team that shouldn't be on their team, that is holding them back from getting where they need to get to. And those decisions, and sometimes, just so we're clear, that isn't only a toxic person. It doesn't just have to be that, because that's really apparent, right? That explodes all over your walls. It's hard to miss, right? Sometimes it's that somebody's on your team that can't take you where you want to go. And that's harder, right? That's a harder thing to do, but still a thing that needs to be done if your goals are real, right? And so that's where all the things we've worked on for years, the right coaching, the right process, the right discussions with people, really important. That Warren Buffett 25-5 thing where he looks at his pilot and he says to him, if you're still my pilot in 3 to 5 years, I failed you. You shouldn't just be in this same job, right? I should be here to help you grow. And that's the same for people that can't help you grow. So that critical hire, critical fire. What's the evolution? So, some of you guys are going to have to leave after the morning session. I heard a few of you say that to me. The most important thing that you've got to carry with yourself in this particular moment, another enormous digital age with a lot of change coming, is if you choose to stay the same, you will regret it in 2 to 3 years. The other thing is you won't be here in 2 to 3 years. You won't be here with us because your business won't be able to afford it anymore. Because your business won't have grown over this time period because you chose not to grow the way you needed to in this moment. Remember those words because they'll be real. So for those of you who really kind of understand the reason you're here, to lean into a good challenging plan, to push yourself in the freedom climb, to really think about the different things you need to do for your business, because it can't be the same 3 to 5 years from now, including lawyers who are always protected. Nothing ever, no economy really ever did a ton of damage to attorneys. But AI is a real thing. It's a real thing that is going to be a part of every one of our businesses. And the more it advances, the more you've got to get your arms wrapped around how that makes sense with you and your business. You already covered this for the most part, but
yeah. But you can see a couple other dates. October 23rd for the second Thrive Lab, and then the final Thrive event of the year on December 11th. With, of course, for all clients, the party at the Boyson House to follow. No pictures will be taken, no stories will be told. But again, trying to stagger our events a little bit better so you're around this group of people more often. Because as mentioned, there's been a lot of business traded in this room recently and in the past. And so we want to make sure we're leveraging that and capitalizing on that for all of you.
And as you guys think about those Thrive Labs, that's a way for us all to help grow this community as well. So those mini events, it's not a full day. So when you're thinking about inviting people to Thrive the full day, I know it's a big ask for people if they don't know us, but those labs, it's a great place to be introduced to this community, what we do. I believe the bigger we are, the stronger we are as a community and can continue to support one another. So we'll ask that you guys look to extend that out to your audience as well. And we look forward to going through all your feedback. So listen, today it's about thriving together, right? So we shared where we are, what we're doing, what we're focused on over the next 12 to 18 months to grow and adapt and be everything you need us to be for you and your business. This day isn't about us after this conversation though, right? This is really just to share where we are so you kind of understand. Now it's about you. It's about what you're going to do with the things that we're going to take you through today to put yourself in the position and your business in the position you want those to be over the next couple of years. So with that, this ought to be fun. We have another video.
Small business owner asks the same question. Will my business ever truly give me freedom? Today, you'll see two owners start at the same place, but end in different worlds. The starting line. Year 1. Both businesses generate $500,000 in revenue. Company A takes home more profit, $400,000. Company B reinvests in systems and leadership, taking home less, $250,000. On paper, A looks ahead. But this is just the beginning. Company A, the reactive owner. Company A's owner wears every hat: sales, service, payroll, hiring. They work 50 to 60 hours a week. No time off, no backup, no leverage. The business earns, but it's 100% dependent on the owner. Company B, the freedom climb. Company B follows the freedom climb framework. They sacrifice short-term income to build systems, hire smart, and lead strategically. The business runs better every year, with or without the owner. The daily difference is clear. Company A fights fires. Company B builds the machine. 5-year snapshot. At 5 years, A is stable, but stuck. B's reinvestment pays off. Higher revenue, more options, and $700,000 to $1.6 million more wealth. After 10 years, A has made money, but has no time, no leverage, and no path off the treadmill. B's business has more than doubled A's lifetime earnings and runs without them. The Freedom Climb Framework Company B followed a strategic path, stabilized operations, built systems, empowered a leadership team, protected profitability. The result? Freedom, optionality, and peace of mind. What's really at stake? This isn't just about revenue. It's about your health, your family, your future. That's the real ROI of building your business the right way. More freedom, more profit. Your business reimagined.
We shared that a couple of events ago and decided to make a video out of it because those are real businesses that I shared. Those are real side-by-sides of trajectories. And I want to be clear that business A made money. This is not saying business A didn't make money. Business A made money. I mean, you see those numbers up there. Those are real dollars. That's real money that was made. But business A was it. They didn't get to take vacation. They didn't get time off. When they weren't at work, there was no money being made. And the end of that journey, that's an exhausted, beat up person who feels completely drained by the operation that they run versus the business B that is actually scaling and building and enjoying running the business and has a choice. And the choice is, do I keep my business and allow it to run passively for me for years to come? Business A didn't have that choice because they were like, F this, I want out. I am done. I'm exhausted. And I think that that's an important thing. And I didn't meet business A on day one. Obviously, that math wouldn't work out. I met business A towards the end, and then business A looked at me and said, yeah, I don't feel like doing all this. It's harder than building the thing that works without me, so I'm just going to stay in my lane and do that thing. But it wasn't healthy. It wasn't the right choice. It wasn't healthy up here, and it wasn't healthy physically. And so I love that story for the purpose that it tells the truth. You can make money as business A. So I'm not the guy standing up here saying you'll fail, right? You see all the commercials of you'll fail, you can't do it. You can. You absolutely can just build a machine and have it run only with you. But it's exhausting, and there's a hell of a lot of risk there. You think there's risk in building a team. There's more risk in not, because if something happens to you, you have nothing to turn back on and lean towards. And we can't control that. If you hire a bad person, can you control it?
Yes.
Yeah, why?
Fire them.
Fire them. If someone you hire goes out and tries to become your competitor, can you handle that? Yep. How? Be better. Be better, right? Just build something better, right? Or realize there's plenty of business for all of us. So as you head into the Freedom Climb and the discussion there, we thought this was a great time to kind of reintroduce this topic. You get to choose who you want to be, but I hope the people that stay in this room because they want to be business B. They want to build something that works for them. They want to have the opportunity to own multiple businesses and to be able to control their destiny and their choice of what they do on a day in and day out.
Okay.
So we're going to introduce the Freedom Climb.
Yeah.
That's gonna...
And this kind of speaks to exactly that Business A and Business B video, because as Reef said, you can live in those stages and exist and make money. And you're going to see that in the Freedom Climb, because a lot of the businesses live in a place within it that works, sort of. I mean, if you want to be miserable and exhausted and not see your family and all those things, what we tried to do is take this video and then give something tangible to actually understand the roadmap, understand the journey, give you something that you can literally tangibly use and click on and read to map your progress, look at the current assessment of your business and understand what do I need to work on next. It's not just my coach saying it. It's not just me knowing it in the back of my mind. It's the Freedom Climb telling me I have to do it so I can get to the next level. And that's what this is. This is a tool that we have been grinding on for quite a while now, from concept to how do we create something that people can utilize, that has tools associated with it, that shows you a path of where to go. Gone through a lot of different iterations, from Excel to SharePoint to we don't know what to do, to finding a solution, finding a couple of solutions. And Mr. David Hartman in the room was the definition of abundance when we came to him and said, we need this built, but like tomorrow. And did you want to reemphasize how he handled that?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty important thing. So if everybody understand what abundant means, I hope. David was introduced to us via Provisors, I think.
And Kathy, really.
Yeah.
And then someone else was also like, hey, I saw you two together.
Yeah.
Oh, Brian.
Yeah. So we were looking at how to build this Freedom Climb, and ultimately we got introduced to David to make this story go fast enough. And in the long run, we decided right now that we're not going to go forward with what David presented for now, because we were in a time crunch. And we were trying to figure out a way to make sure that we do it fast, but also do it in a way where if we make mistakes, I don't have to sell McKenna, who's my daughter, because that would stink. And so when we told David that, his immediate response was, oh, I understand the tool that you're using it for. Why don't I send you all the stuff that me and my team built so you can share it with the guy who's going to do the developing for you? It'll probably help you go faster. Versus how many other people act when you say you're not going to use them for, the particular service they offer, which is ignore you, ghost you, all of the things that come along. So as anybody has any developing or developer needs, David and his team clearly do business the right way, and we look forward to circling back to him, as we move forward and talk about the continuation of what we're trying to build here.
Okay.
By the way, while Matt's pulling that up, you all are receiving emails. This is a good time to pull out your computer because you're going to be sent an email and an invite to your own Freedom Climb portal. So this is why we told everybody to bring computer. So you're going to be getting that, and Matt's going to walk you through how to pull that off.
Does anybody currently use Notion with an N? Oh, wow, okay. I had one Notion expert who's not here today, which I was going to need in case we need her, in case we have some IT challenges. We have some skills in the room. But what we did is we had it built in Notion. And I guess the definition of
Matt,
Notion would be...
Sorry to interrupt real quick. Did anybody not bring a computer? It's okay if you didn't. Okay, because if you didn't, you can do it on your phone. Yep. You just will have to load the app. So go ahead, Matt.
And so Notion is kind of a home base for project management. You can build CRMs, you can take a bunch of notes for yourself, you can share files, you can do all different sorts of things. But like any software, someone like us who are just operators can't nearly come close to using it as it's designed and everything it's capable of. So after having our conversations with David, we found a Notion expert who was meeting the needs as we were describing it, as elementary as we were describing it, and said, I can do this. And we went on this journey, and we land here today with, how far through are you, Joe? So what we had to do is we built individual portals for everyone. And what Joe is doing is sending you all your company's Notion portal. So everyone will have their own version of the Freedom Climb. And what you're seeing on the screen here is what we'll see. So we'll be able to go to each of our clients, pull up their Notion board and their Freedom Climb and work through it together. Couple important facts. This is it's an open software, basically. So in order for you to be able to use it and integrate with it, we had to keep all the locks off. And so you can mess it up. But if you mess up yours, it doesn't mess up everybody else's, and there's ways to pull up previous versions. So don't be afraid when you're clicking around, and we're going to walk through kind of some of the screens and what this looks like so you can all start to use it on your own. And what we're going to do today after we get through this is have everybody run a full assessment through the Freedom Climb with each stage of the business. And then when we're done, we'll have a good look of our starting point on this particular journey. Okay. Arif, you want to jump in here and I'll just try to make this bigger. And
So you guys should be receiving your invites. You do not need to pay. You're on our account. You're a guest of our account. So if it says or offers you anything else, just come in as a guest. If you want to expand your Notion account later, you will have the opportunity to do that. But for now, you can just come in on a guest seat from our portal. You're going to see that there's 4 stages.
Do you want to actually, sorry.
On screen. Actually, yeah. Here's your instructions for as it comes through. So you're going to get your email, accept invitation, create your username and password, all the basic things that you would normally do. You might get a verification code. We've noticed that it happens sometimes, but not always. And you will create your account under us. And you know what? We're going to give everybody 2 minutes to just go ahead and create their accounts.
And this, of course,
Okay.
isn't charged like it's supposed to be.
Almost everybody is in and good. We'll get the last one delivered here shortly. So just want to walk through this a little bit. Notion has some kind of tricky features, but also some very simple features. And again, the whole idea here is to give you a roadmap for when you're sitting there thinking, what is the next thing I should be working on? I don't have a coaching call for a while. Not sure what to do. Not sure where to go. This is going to help you identify where some of those remaining holes are. It's going to help you identify what some of your future goals should be. And just like we normally do here at Thrive, we try to find those holes and use today to plug those with solutions. And the Freedom Climb is designed to help you through that process. And so we broke it up into 4 stages. All right, we've got builder, driver, leader, and owner. Starting with builder, and builder, right, is all about trying to build. And there's many different versions within builder, but usually you are doing most everything within your business. You may be just starting to look at how am I going to hire somebody, and if I do, how am I going to get some systems in place so this person can follow them. You may not have predictable lead flow yet. You likely don't have predictable revenue yet. In fact, you don't in builder. And so what we did is we went in and used our regular themes. So just a click in the blue turns into what we call our success metrics, broken up by time, team, money, and self. And we also have a revenue threshold that will be kind of a one-time look within each stage based on the industry you're in. And so as you look at the time tasks, a lot of these are going to sound quite familiar. And I'm not going to read through these, I promise. Calendar mastery, time blocking, task delegation, learning to say no, which I just had a conversation with about this morning, right? Morning routine, all of those basic things about time that we talk about a lot, right? Now we have a tangible workshop to decide, have I really done this? Have I really implemented this in my business? Or is it just something I know I need to do but haven't done yet? And so as we work to advance, we've got a couple rules to go from stage to stage. You got to get 80% of the total success metrics within each stage. You have to meet the revenue threshold, and you have to do every single one of what we're calling the non-negotiables within each stage. And the way to know it's a non-negotiable is because it's in red, right? So the first one here, calendar mastery. My calendar is 80% pre-planned each week with time blocks for deep work, leadership, admin, and personal priorities. And I protect these blocks from reactive scheduling. All things you've heard us say many times, I'm sure, but a challenging thing to actually do. And so as you're working through this, we go to the no, and we click, I have not done this, I'm in progress, meaning I'm making progress on it, or yes, this is fully implemented in my daily life and my business.
Yes means you have full mastery of the topic, or it is fully implemented inside your business. If you are any less than that, you want to go in progress. And listen, the purpose of this exercise is not to grab as many yeses as you possibly can. Be honest. Be real with yourself. And your coaches are going to know whether you're being honest or real with yourself as well, as we're looking at this. Yep. But yes is either full mastery and full implementation of whatever that topic is.
And so there's multiple ways to get to the success metrics. You can either, as you go to the builder stage, click on the boxes at the top, time, team, money, or if you just scroll down, they are all listed right here. And so we can work through each one with an honest answer. The builder stage having the most success metrics, because that's where we all start. So they get a little less time consuming as you go. And then at the very bottom, we have a keeping score for us. So on the left is how many tasks or success metrics are within each category. The middle is how much progress you're making. I clicked the one calendar mastery and I changed it from no to making progress or in progress. So that gives me 40% of that. That's the credit we're giving you for in progress. And so if I would have clicked yes, I've got that completely done, some of these bar graphs start to move, right? So it's fully interactive as you're using it to track your progress within each of these areas. And then also within Builder, we have all 4 stages. So team, we can click on team, play through that. This is all about, right, hiring, managing, communicating, inclusion, having the difficult conversations, etc.
Keep going. I'm just going to show something else.
Okay. Go ahead.
No, keep going. I'm pulling it up.
No, you're good.
So
go
you
ahead.
said go, and then
You said go.
So when you come up here, you will also notice with the stages the progress, but you're going to be able to tell from what stage you are on when you're on the main page of your particular portal. So you can see that we are sitting in the builder stage. If you actually get to a point where you have progressed past that, which obviously is our goal here, you will now see that you're in the driver stage. Okay? So where we're headed now is to take your time and be thoughtful about each of these questions, right? So go through, really think about where I'm at, because this is also what's going to help us identify our future work and help you build your plan for this afternoon. So as of now, we want you to go through that builder stage. When you're done, just let us know, and we will start to talk about the next phase and the next phase. And you may have not graduated builder, but have some things done in the driver stage or the leader stage. It's not one or the other. But it doesn't mean that you're done in the builder stage just because you have some things that you completed in the driver or leader stage. All right, so right now, what we want you to do is kind of go through, take that assessment for the builder stage, see where you're at, work through time, team, money, self. This is built out for the non-owners in the room. We have a few. This is built out for the owners and leaders, but if you're here representing your company, you obviously know what is happening versus what is not happening within the company. So you are still looking to build it. There'll be a few personal ones that you can bypass, but the majority is all about the business. And you can skip self when we get to the self part, focus on time, team, money. If you're aware of revenue, great. If you're not aware of revenue, we'll handle that with the owners. Questions? Okay, so take some time, go through Builder. As you finish that, throw up your hands, let us know, and we'll get to the next phase. Couple multiple owner or multiple faceted businesses. If you have a disparity between the two of you, meaning I do this really well, but my business partner doesn't, you're not going to say, yes, we have mastery of this as a company. So in that section, though, if it's important to one of you to note that you have mastery, that's what the note section's for. So if one of you has calendar mastery and one of you does not, feel free to say, I have calendar mastery here. But as a company, we do not. And that'll highlight for us as coaches and you what we need to work on to get mastery in that particular section. All right? So that's what that note section is there. The note section is in the part of the portal where it's all listed towards the bottom. So that's where you can use the note section. So I'm going to jump in and interrupt for a minute. I know not everybody's done with Builder, and some of you have moved to Driver. But the way we're going to kind of guide the rest of this is it'll take you through lunch. So you're going to go all the way from Builder through to the owner stage. You don't need us to tell you how to read, I think. So each of these will kind of, you'll navigate your own answers. But I thought maybe just interesting to get a few people to kind of share anything that surprised them or any questions, comments, realizations as they went through the Builder stage. Who wants to share? The idea here is not to like point out failure. The idea here is to say, are you 100% business A? Are you 80% business A? Like, where are you in that journey? And then as we take you through the rest of this freedom climb, when you get towards the end, and we then transition into the planning session of the afternoon, you're using a few of these things as your goals as you head into the afternoon. Because you can't automatically in the next 6 months go from 0 to 60 and be living in owner stage. It takes time. Revenue takes time, right? So you have to have revenue at a certain level to be able to invest in some of the things that we identify. So good, honest share there from Pete. Thank you.
Were there new items added compared to the books you had in the past?
Yes. Yeah. A lot. And updated and evolved, right? As things changed. There was a book in the past that we did that was not on screen that was similar to this, but not the same. What else?
I have a question. If one of the questions doesn't apply, like for example, pricing is reviewed twice a year and adjusted as needed. If we're not selling product, should we leave this as a no, or should we leave it as a yes for purposes of engaging? Yes, right?
You can leave that one as a no because it's not something you're doing. And yeah, I would say for injury space where it's all contingency fee, yeah, pricing is not one, but for the other lawyers in the room, it is one to be consistently looking at.
So just
We had a question just really on accountability, and it's always because I start a project, I go to the next project, I go to the next project, and I understand calendar blocking very well, and I can do it for my Pilates and gym in the morning very well. But once I get to the office and there's a new client or there's a client that I have to put out the fire, and I had thought I'm coming in to do demands, how do we negotiate? Because the client that's having the fire it's not a good idea to tell them, she'll call you back at 2.
Don't worry about
So, and I mean, I've been doing this a long time, and I did calendar blocking at some point in my life. It seems like 20 years ago. It's really hard to manage time. So calendar blocking is so important. But as the lawyer that has to handle the cases, and as my admin that is putting out fires, and everybody's putting out fires, you do get lost in the shuffle. You're just putting out the fires and not doing what I come in every day with my goals. And damn it, they don't get done. I mean, because I'm putting out those fires. So what's your simple solution on that?
Before I answer, and I do have an answer, does anyone else have an answer to that isn't me in the room? James?
With IT, with the cybersecurity, things come up. Can't tell them, sorry, I get back to you. One of the things that I do is I add in the old shit time. What's going to happen? I know 10 hours at least is going to be, I didn't expect it. So I just put that in the calendar. And then I've got that block that's not getting filled up with appointments. And when I have to move stuff, I can pop it into there. That helps manage it better. Some weeks it still goes over, but it's not a thing to where every week it's being derailed.
Oh shit time, I like that.
Yeah, but when you
That's trademark.
I have a question.
Big caps.
Big caps, yeah.
I have a question for you. So, but when you move something else into that space allocated for the oh shit time, do you set up another oh shit time to make up for the one that you moved into?
Pretty much set up about 9 hours of it. So I've got that.
You got it all set up. I'm just curious.
Yeah. I think we like saying oh shit time. Answer or a different question?
Great.
I'll attack it from a client standpoint since we're both lawyers. One of the things I do for all of my clients in the very beginning is I define an emergency for them. And so based on what you do, based on what I do, based on what we all do, there are certain things where I have to know about it the second it happens so that I can jump on it. There are things that I tell my clients, it's important, and I understand you're freaking out about it. It's not something that you need to freak out about, and it's not something that you need to talk to me about like right now. I can get you on my calendar within 2 hours, 2 weeks, whatever the cadence is that you determine. But I define emergency for them at the minute. And if I didn't, given that I'm an immigration attorney, given what's going on right now, I wouldn't get any sleep if I let my clients define emergency. So I define emergency for them, and then I keep that bound. I have to keep that boundary, or else I'd be on the phone all day.
Eric?
Thank you. So I suffer with the exact same challenge and struggle all the time. What I've recently done is I've come to recognize that crisis management, that soothing comfort that clients need isn't something that I should treat as though it's something that's going to throw me off, but rather like it's a regular part of what I should be doing. And what I did is I hired another attorney that I could delegate the demand letters to and all sorts of other types of work like that, because my sense is it would be much more difficult for me to delegate that counseling service that my clients so desperately need from me. Feels like at least one needs that at least every day. So I'm actually now setting aside time in my day with the expectation that I'll need to do that and finding ways to delegate other things that I don't necessarily personally need to be doing.
So I don't know how many growth clubs we've done. What? Thrives? Well, they were growth clubs before. I know we've done one Thrive. And I don't know, 25, 30 growth clubs. That was probably the best 4 minutes for me, because the combination of those answers is the right answer. So I do start everything with positioning. So I think positioning, which is essentially what Carol said, positioning is everything. So when you meet someone and you talk to them about how they do business with you and how you do business with them, I like to call it command and control, right? They are now in your house. You are the expert. You will guide the relationship, not in a disrespectful way, but this is how I'm going to work most effectively with you. which is essentially what Carol was sharing. And then the combination between James's answer and Eric's answer around one, making sure that you create the right amount of work priorities that you want to do, while also understanding that if that's what you're best at, that's what you should do. But if, say you're not, like say you don't have the best, I'll just use bedside manner as the term, so, and maybe you're not like, the person that should be dealing with the clients. Part of your positioning is, by the way, when you have emergencies, this is who handles them. This is what constitutes an emergency, and this is who you should talk to because they're going to be able to navigate that as fast as possible. Whatever you tell somebody on day one, if they choose to engage with you, they have agreed to your structure. So what Yvette asked is almost everyone's biggest problem, right? And the solution is getting above the point, right? And saying, okay, I have this as a problem. I'm going to stand up. Yvette stood up and said, I have a problem, right? That's what happened. And so now from there, you say, what is the solution? So that's what the afternoon is about, right? Then connecting that to how do I get more intentional, prioritize better, and get my calendar in a way where I'm going to do the things I say I'm going to do. My last comment on it, because it's important, is when you create an environment where you don't do what you tell yourself you're going to do, it's contagious. You will continuously do that. So one of the things I try to always tell people as they come out of this event and head into the first day of the next quarter is do everything you said you're going to do. Make that your new habit. The minute you don't, it's compounding, and you will just do that more and more and more, and now you've created that internal structure for yourself. So external as well, right, because people observe it. All right, so here's where we're at. We're not going to guide you through every section because you're all business owners and grown-ups and can handle this yourself. So this kind of timed out perfectly into lunch as we planned. We do want you to complete your freedom climb, answer all the questions, and then we obviously can see it on our side. And while you're working through it, just grab lunch, it's ready. And then from here, we're going to connect the freedom climb to our plans for the afternoon. Any questions? Throw up your hands. Matt and I are here.